Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jannavi Suryoshi from the partnerships team at SINE IIT Bombay. Uh, I welcome you all to our fireside chat on leveraging new age technology to enhance customer experience in the mobility space. Today, we will explore how innovation is revolutionizing mobility. Uh, to drive this session ahead, I would like to introduce you to our moderator for today, Dr. Ganga. Dr. Ganga is our mentor in resident at SINE IIT Bombay and comes with an experience of 3 decades having worked and mentored multiple entrepreneurs. She is also a mentor in residence at SBJIMR. She has been a banker with India's largest private sector bank in the MSME space for more than a decade and a half. She actively mentors several startups through the incubators of the startup ecosystem. I welcome Dr. Ganga to guide our conversation ahead and introduce our speakers. Thank you.
Thank you, Janvi, for the kind words. So, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. So my name is Dr. Ganga. Janvi just gave me an introduction, and I'm part of SINE ecosystem. So it gives me immense pleasure to moderate today's session with one of India's best, automobile company, and along with T-Hub, who's also one of the leading incubators in India. Just giving you a context of today's session and about Maruti Suzuki Innovation. I believe it's an opportunity for new age technology. Who are nurtured by innovators and technocrats to collaborate with Maruti for seeking market validation and other value-added support in their journey towards commercialization. So Maruti Suzuki Innovation is giving this wonderful opportunity to the innovators and technocrats today. So this opportunity has been plated through the mobility challenge. This is in collaboration with T-Hub. This challenge gives an opportunity to mature startups, many of them who have joined here, working on cutting-edge technologies to co-create and innovate solutions in the mobility space. Selected startups, so there is a call for application which is going on as we speak right now. So selected shortlisted startups through the journey will get an opportunity to execute paid proof of concept, receive mentorship from Maruti Suzuki, and possibly go have a faster go-to-market approach along with Maruti. So, ladies and gentlemen, for a startup founder, any opportunity like this to connect with market leaders, I think is always a sense of euphoria, I should say, because that's what they always look for. And I believe today the founders in the audience who are there right now and who are joining are equally excited to listen to our panelists. So it gives me immense pleasure to introduce today's panelists. We have two wonderful gentlemen speaking with us today. The first speaker is Mr. Rohan Chhatwal. Mr. Rohan Chhatwal is a Vice President of Innovation and Research Center at Maruti Suzuki. Mr. Chhatwal leads the Innovation Center of Excellence, driving open innovation through tech startup collaborations in both B2C and B2B sectors. Under his visionary leadership, Maruti Suzuki's Accelerator, Incubator, and Innovation Fund have thrived, engaging with over 2,000 startups and pioneering advancements in cutting-edge technologies almost in all the spheres, which includes AI, ML, VR, AR, quantum computing, so on and so forth. Welcome, Mr. Rohan. It's an honor to have you in the Fireside Chat today.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ganga. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So our next speaker is Mr. Sujit Jagirdar. He is the Chief Innovation Officer at T-Hub for today's Fireside Chat. So Mr. Jagirdar heads the Corporate Innovation, International Programs, Government and Partnership Departments at T-Hub. He works very closely with corporates both in India and globally with PSUs and state central government enterprises, typically to address some of the pressing business challenges through innovation and co-creation. T-Hub is India's leading innovation ecosystem player, focusing on deep technology in almost all the sectors. We welcome you, Mr. Sujit Jagirdar. It's an honor and pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you, Dr. Ganga.
Yeah. So we are good to start the panel discussion. So just to give a format of today's session. So the we based on I think during the registration process we had requested people participants to raise a few questions if they had anything specific for the participants. Along with that, with certain other questions, the panel discussions will be curated around that. Post that, we will have, if time permits, we'll have an open, live question, uh, uh, open live question with the participants. And participants are requested to post their questions in the Q&A section while the discussions are on. Either ways, we try and take it up during the discussion, or my colleague Janvi will flag them for a suitable reply. So I hope we are good to start. Yeah, thank you. And if it's fine, I would address the panelists by their first name. I hope it's fine with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much. So first question goes to Rohan.
It looks like an exam, huh? Question is coming. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. It's more like a conversation. Yeah, yeah. Please go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
okay. I'll just adjust my mic. Apparently, it's not clear. Just one sec.
Maybe Rohan and to keep this conversation going and make these webinars interesting, we should roll out quizzes and prizes for the teams that
That's
are
a good idea.
people
That's a
participants
good
who are
idea. That's a good idea.
joining.
Okay. Yes, you're right. Okay, the first popular question I can say, Rohan, is we're keen to understand this innovation landscape which has evolved in the recent years, particularly with Maruti, and how it's also evolved in the global innovation, particularly in the mobility space. We'd love to hear more on this from you, Rohan.
Sure. So just to take you a little back, not little, Maruti has been in India for the last 42 years. It started operations in the year 1983-84. And since then, Maruti has been a very, very innovative company. Just to give you a perspective, at that point of time in 83-84, the founders had the vision to set up a plant with a capacity of 100,000 units when the market size in itself was 40,000. So look at the vision that the founder had that, okay, let me set up a big plant, get some nice small cars, innovative technology, Japanese tech with, of course, Indian sweat. So get those cars for Indian people and spread joy of mobility. So, and during the last 42 years, we've been churning out very, very exciting high on tech products for our consumers across the segment, whether it's hatchbacks, sedans, SUVs. I mean, our products are loved by all. And whether it's petrol, CNG, hybrid, smart hybrid, I mean, we've been offering tech products to customers across the segments. I mean, at every price point, we have an offering, and we are giving all sorts of options to consumers to choose from. And then, of course, it depends on them. So, innovative mindset has been there in the company right from the beginning, right from the inception. The operation started in 83-84. Over the last 3-4 years, when I talk particularly about innovation with respect to startups, yes, the landscape has evolved. And when particularly I talk about Maruti's initiative, like way back in about 2019, Maruti Suzuki decided to collaborate with startups because startups were actually innovating a lot of new stuff, whether it is in B2B market or B2C. And a lot of new business models were kind of devised by startups. It's not only the product innovations, but even the business model innovations were done by a startup. So company thought it's a very, very good way to get access to new technology, and especially at an early stage. And let's supplement the R&D efforts of the company. And also, there was a big push from the Prime Minister's side and the government side on the Startup India, Make in India, and Skill India. So just to package it all, we decided let's collaborate with startup. Let's have a mechanism. Let's have a program. Currently, we have multiple programs to collaborate with startup and harness that positive energy and get it into the legacy company like Maruti Suzuki. So that has been the thesis and genesis behind why we started.
Very, very interesting. And I think it's extremely gratifying and, especially from the incubator community, we really find this music to our ears when we have corporates talking the language of, supplement R&D, business model innovation, innovative mindset. And we really need champions to really drive that from the corporates to really make this happen from the startup side. So kudos. And it really feels great to know that. So, Suraj, I have this question for you. What are some of the most, I mean, with this innovation, evolution, which Rohan just explained, you might have been witness to many new age promising technologies, particularly we are talking of the mobility space. Maybe you can dwell upon from the mobility space perspective and a little bit on the customer experience, because that's also going to be the focus for Maruti from an innovation standpoint.
Thanks, Dr. Ganga. I completely echo Rohan's, and we've been working with Maruti for last 3 years or so. Can vouch for the fact that they've been leaders in innovation in terms of how they have been engaging with startups. So completely vouch for that. So coming to this point, while I don't want to be a Nostradamus trying to predict what technologies would evolve, but definitely we'll talk about certain trends that we are all seeing already, and
Sure,
which
sure.
are really, at least personally, we believe, and we've been talking with the Maruti team as well. A lot of these immersive technologies like AR, VR, VFX, so MR, mixed reality solutions are becoming critical part to the customer experience. So when you look at it from that perspective, also the fact that products are getting digitized, and if you look at it, the showrooms are getting virtualized, right? Customers are looking at opportunities to engage across channel. In fact, thinking about it, electronics industry, right? Electronic goods industry had evolved omni-channel experience so very well in the past decade that customers' experience of buying from any channel, meant the same experience, right? Today, I think, the automobile industry is moving towards creating that omni-channel experience. This is a clear trend that we are seeing. The other thing from a tech business standpoint is hyper personalization.
Right.
If you look at the mobile phone, right, probably that is one of the most hyper personalized product one could ever think of. I mean, maybe there are others, but that's what I would imagine. And a car is becoming a close second in terms of becoming hyper personalized, right, based on the driver's or the owner's preferences, etc. Of course, ADAS solutions, already I think in India we are at level 3. There is an attempt to go to level 4 and beyond. So that's picking up speed. It's going to take some more time though. Then off late, in fact, yesterday I was at a conference where one of the startup walked up to me and saying that they are working on something called software defined vehicles,
Okay.
SDVs, right? If you look at how the vehicles evolved from being mechanical today to completely software
Absolutely.
data driven.
Absolutely.
So clearly the trend is towards that. But I just want to conclude with some very interesting, conversations that I had over the last 1.5 year. Now there is this convergence that's happening between sectors, meaning that mobility is coming closer to healthcare, right?
Okay.
How do you monitor a passenger's health or a driver's health while you are engaged? In fact, I had the opportunity to interact with somebody who was making these driver's seats, that can provide kind of, cushioning if somebody is sitting for a long time, right? How do you ensure that the drivers are not stuck in the same position, right? Massages, etc. Those are coming into picture. Certain features, right? Very different from what it was earlier, monitoring driver's health or passenger's health. The second thing is Another interesting concept of charging on the go, is slowly evolving. How do you solve for battery sizes problems? I mean, there is a limit to which you can, put in the kind of charging that is available to cover the range, right?
Right.
So again, V2V and V2X is something that we are already talking about. So there are multiple different areas automotive industry is grappling with in terms of technological changes. I think for corporates like Maruti, it's about what should they pick, what are those key areas, what are the priorities, what would be the best for the customer, is what is the choice one will have to kind of draw a line on. But exciting times for technologists to be in mobility space.
Yeah. I think you ended it very beautifully, where Suraj is all set to share as to what are the technologies they are really keen on, particularly when they're looking at enhancing the customer experiences, bringing in more value. I like the concept of they are also, as you're saying, they're getting socially responsible. I mean, when you're talking of convergence of healthcare and this, so there's a lot of responsibility also which is coming into play.
Right.
So I think Rohan, it'll be really nice if you could share, how do you, are there any particular areas which you are looking at to enhance the customer experience? What kind of technologies? Do you really want to share some exciting stories which have also,
Sure,
you've got?
sure, sure.
Yeah,
See,
thanks.
like Sujit San started that, yes, there has been a lot of traction in the space of AR, VR, mixed AR, mixed reality. Yes, the our thesis is all about providing superior consumer customer experience across the channel. I mean, get a superior omni-channel experience, whether the customer is walking into our showroom, whether customer is on our website, whether interacting with us over WhatsApp, or meeting us at any of the events in mall. The experience has to be consistent, has to be superior, and very immersive. And all this can be made possible only with the use of technology. Uh, so that's how now we've started using a lot of AR, VR to demonstrate the capabilities of our vehicles, because vehicles today, they have become like mini computers in themselves, because Sujit San talked about SDV. So there's so much of tech which is there in the car these days, that you need tech assisted products and technology to explain all this to the customer. Especially, I remember a case when we were about to launch a vehicle, a very high end SUV from Maruti Suzuki. Somehow there was a delay in the vehicle reaching all the showrooms across India. There was a delay because of some unavoidable circumstance. So within a very short span of time, we were instructed to create the VR experience of that model across India. So
Okay.
can we do this? Can our consumers walk into these showrooms and see the vehicle over a VR headset? So if we had given this project to a large company to execute, the large company would have taken about 4 to 5 months, or if not for minimum 3 to 4 months. But this project was delivered by a startup in a record 1 week's time. So that is the capability of a startup. They work 24/7. They go into a huddle. Of course, they know the tech, and they deliver, and they defy the normal timeline set by the corporate. So that is the kind of fun and the traction and the value which you get once you collaborate with startups. So there are so many stories, but I thought, let me just share this one with you. Yeah.
Sure, sure. Very interesting. So, when you're talking of customer experience, Rohan, you were speaking of something where a customer is actually looking at engaging with a potential Maruti product or trying to understand whether they should go for a sale. Are there any unique technologies or customer experiences you may want to highlight post the sale happening at the dealer's end or the outlets end? Are there any unique technologies which you think
Yes.
really
See,
are
once
being
the vehicle
utilized?
is delivered, of course, you require somebody to check with you whether the vehicle is running in fine condition or not. Do you require any assistance? So there also we are using a startup's technology called as AI voice bot,
Mhm,
which actually reaches out to the customer, and it's a conversational AI bot. It's not your IVR system.
mhm,
It is very adaptive. It will adapt to the answer which you will give, whether you are happy, sad, you want any service, or you want some information about any particular feature. So this is one solution which we use from a startup, which is like a conversational AI, a voice bot. Second is every car comes with an owner's manual. So now what we've done is with the help of a startup we have eliminated the owner's manual from the car. So there's a thick book, so the number of words in that thick book and Harry Potter book are probably all very, very similar. Generally, generally consumers they don't read that.
Yes, it's just lying in the car
Yes,
as long as the
yes,
car is with us. We wouldn't have opened one sheet
definitely.
also.
And
Rohan, and only one exception. My son managed to read it when I was struggling with something. He managed to tell me this is what you need to do. But
brilliant,
guess,
brilliant.
I guess that's an exception because that's one page. It had a
Absolutely.
lot of pictures, and
Yes,
hence I was reading that repeatedly. Otherwise, you would not
yes,
have done that.
yes, yes. So but the percentage of people, just bright people like your son is
Yeah,
very limited. I mean, the
exceptional.
general people, especially when you are in distress, then very rarely you open the glove box and then you start reading all this. Then so we built a AI based system where a consumer can actually interact with us over an application. You can actually scan what is there on the dashboard. There are different lights, and every light, every signal has some meaning. So depending upon the signal which is there on the dash, the consumer will be asked to do certain things to kind of help the customer to resolve that issue. So there are many DIY kind of videos as well, which the consumer can actually use to solve and come out of that problem. If at all nothing works, then with a click of a button, you can actually be connected to the nearest workshop.
Right.
Still, if nothing works, there is no internet as well, and the app somehow you're able to open your last live location, whatever was the last live location is mapped. You click that and you will be connected to a Maruti service station. So that means you're not lost. Someone will reach out to you if you are stuck. And of course, the beauty of this entire solution is we at Maruti are also able to track what kind of inputs consumers are looking at, what kind of stuff they are scanning. So that's a good data point for us as well to improve our products and features and stuff.
Very
Yes.
interesting. And I think, like the Indian Post Office, if I may say, Maruti service stations are there anywhere. I mean,
Yes.
if I can make that statement. So
Yes.
I'm not surprised at all. I mean, with the convenience factor, it's amazing. So I think the audience must really be thrilled to know the kind of insights. I mean, getting customer insights. When an innovator listens to a customer and the insights they get, and quickly process and translate it back in terms of whether my technology will kind of be a great use case for this is something which I'm sure the audience is loving it. Rohan, thank you so much on this. So Suraj, this is to you, and it's a question a little at a higher level, particularly for the startup ecosystem, the incubators, the incubator community, the startups here. uh, uh, how do you see and actually congratulations for this wonderful collaboration you've done with Maruti, and I've heard from Rohan that it's gone better and better with time. How do you see such collaborations going ahead, especially we're talking of automobile. I'm sure it's happening across all the industries, but automobile companies and technology startups, how do you see it evolving, and particularly the new age technologies? We just heard Rohan speaking, and you also gave some thoughts.
Sure. Dr. Ganga, Suraj is a nice name, but I prefer to be called
Sujit,
Sujit.
Sujit, sorry, I stand corrected.
No,
I
no, no,
stand
no,
corrected.
that's
I realized it.
absolutely,
It is Sujit. Yeah, I stand corrected.
absolutely fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So coming to collaborations, especially in the automotive sector, the way that we are seeing, right? I think innovation is one of the things that's also a topic here. If you look at it, and engaging with startups, you heard from Rohan's and the way that they are revolutionizing internally. I
Right.
think that's where lies the biggest opportunity for collaboration for startups in terms of co-innovating and co-creating. we have been, as T-Hub, as an ecosystem enabler, we've been promoting this whole concept of open innovation, where corporates, open up their doors, engage with startups, right? Like I was saying, Maruti has been a pioneer in that. They've also evolved a way to not only help startups find POCs and pilots, actually scale. This is where lies the other advantage. It's not a one-time thing that you are engaging with them and moving away. But I know personally of some of the startups who have actually scaled from being a one pilot, one engagement to at a national level, rolling out solutions at a national level. So that's one area that definitely is important for startups to know, and opportunities to collaborate. But I have a more fundamental things to say here. For example, if you look at the whole value chain, right? It's while customer experience is important and that's a focus of the topic, but customer experience doesn't start and end at the touch points. While touch points are critical, but you have to solve for the supply chain challenges, you have to solve for the design challenges, you have to solve for supplier related challenges, time to market, right? How do you reduce your time to market and make your product the preferred choice, right? So engaging in all these areas also will contribute to a better customer experience, pre-sales, during sale, in the product experience, right? And post-sale experience. All of these are part of customer. All these are opportunities for startups to show up their innovative solutions. I think this mobility challenge 2.0 is an opportunity to actually build on that, right? That's what I would think. And co-opting, co-creating, co-innovating is the way forward. And that's the open innovation model, which is something that Maruti has championed. Participating, more proactively is the way forward.
Wonderful, Sujit. I have a small corollary question to you, Sujit. I mean, while you were explaining, in terms of this, the co-creating, all the co-is possible, which makes a successful, proposal. What kind of a mindset should a startup have? Because you come from a startup community. Because a person like Rohan, they're all from a corporate experience, and I do understand because I also come from a corporate side, so we are tuned and stationed in a particular manner, and it's great to have champions like him to really drive it. But what are your thoughts on this? Because I think that's very important for the startups.
No, I love this question, Dr. Ganga, because we deal, of course, we work with startups day in and day out, as well as corporates. Very great. I mean, very good question. So, in fact, for corporates, it is monthly, quarterly, yearly cycle. They don't mind a month slippage here, goes to the next month. There's no problem. Rohan San will not be beaten down by anybody, right? So we can always go back and explain that next quarter we'll hit the numbers. But then for the startup, it is hours, days, and probably weeks. That's a cycle. So the mindset is really about, while obviously acceleration, agility is all important, probably patience, being patient, with the responses. Honestly, again, it's not that Maruti is on this call, so I'm saying this. Maruti probably is an exception, but we have seen, responses taking its own sweet time. I mean, you can talk to any startup founder if they are on this call, how much time a purchase order might take after the so-called the deal is closed. It can sometimes takes weeks or months. How important it is for them, the corporates need to be sensitive and be aware of. Similarly, probably patience is one of the key factors. Agility, flexibility, some of these, of course, the innovative mindset is there, right? So that's given. But these are some of the things, partnering and leveraging the ecosystem, right? Many times, we see that they go solo. They think that they have to solve all the problems on their own. It's not necessary. Go ahead and open up that problems, and seek help. partner with the ecosystem, right? It could be anybody. So I think these are some of the mindsets.
Sure, great. Fantastic. I think I'm sure Rohan will have more to add to it. So coming back to the initiatives Maruti has successfully gone over time. Uh, Particularly Rohan, yeah, while we are talking about the challenge, which we really are going to be the next question in terms of more about the challenge. Can you actually just highlight your Maruti's initiative on various partnerships which you have built with stakeholders to really build up this momentum?
Yeah, of course, of course. See, probably I missed at this point at the beginning. When we started this startup program and startup collaborations, one of the reasons why we started was, of course, get access to technology, supplement R&D. One thesis was we wanted to build an ecosystem for startups and corporate collaboration in India. We didn't want to be a single player doing some activity in one corner of India and not interacting with others. So over the last 4 or 5 years, we've built multiple partnerships with marquee players, and one of them is T-Hub. The other is I am Bangalore, NSR Cell, I am Kolkata, NASCOM, and their list is on and on. And Sujit San is here. I remember we started this partnership when this beautiful, magnificent, fantastic building of T Hub was not there. So we just saw a model of it in Triple IT Hyderabad. So I see on their LinkedIn post that almost every week they are doing some collaborations. Probably the people who are coming there can see what T Hub is all about. But when we collaborated, it was nothing. I mean, this building was not there. People were there. The vision was there. The energy was there. Startups were there. And we said, yes, very, very right kind of a partnership. And that's a good engagement to have to source startups, collaborate, co-create something exciting, because T Hub always had this vision. And of course, now it's in front of all of us to see how T Hub has evolved to be Asia's largest innovation hub, or maybe the world. I don't know. But both, one of them is correct.
We,
So,
we, we take both, Rohan. Humbly,
okay,
humbly.
wonderful. So it is about the conviction. It is about the honesty of the people with whom you are
Sure.
interacting with. Like Sujit San, we are very, very transparent in sharing what we bring to the table, what we can do for the startups. And Dr. Ganga and other people who have joined in today, we go to the extent of taking care of their flights whenever they come to meet us. We take care of their hotels whenever they come to meet us. I'm talking about the startups, because we understand not everybody is very good on the cash flow part. We also take care of the POC. We don't do free POCs. It's only the paid POCs. So our entire objective is to request startup to come here. We have a beautiful innovation gym. Get your laptop, get your team, start working. The rest other things we'll take care of. And that's what kind of excellent support we get from T Hub as well. Very, very positive, vibrant energy when you go to Hyderabad. They also keep on recommending wonderful startups, and some of them have gone very, very big with Maruti now, and they have roots from T Hub. One of them is N-Mobile. He's doing business more than 10 crores with us. The other one is Zane, the Imaginate, one of the winners of Mobility Challenge Cohort 1, a business of about 20 million rupees. So that's the kind of, I'm talking about money because startups understand, of course, technology as well as money. Because
Absolutely.
end of the day, purchase order is equally important than the stuff which you do before that.
Absolutely.
So that is why I'm sharing these numbers, not flaunting them. So it is important, and the way to go ahead is also build more partnerships, collaborate, and co-create, and keep supporting the startup ecosystem.
Absolutely beautiful. It's fantastic, and only when an organization has an empathetic mindset, they can really draw with such strategies from the top to bottom. Thank you so much, Ron. So, coming to the challenge per se, I'm sure there is a link which is available, which has been shared, where they can get details of the challenge. But you may like to throw some lights on what are the key factors you're looking at while you're evaluating the startups, like probably the must haves and the desirables while they're applying for the challenge.
It's to me.
Yeah, it's true.
See, the challenge is more for the AI-based startups who are of course using computer vision to solve computer vision related problems. Exact problem statement, the final details we will let the startups know once they apply to us. But the broad category is AI. The broad category is computer vision. Can they make sense of the data which is generated from the cameras? And of course, then we will ask them to derive insights from that. What we are looking for is energetic bunch of players who can actually scale up with us. We're not looking for somebody who is only who wants to do only a little bit of POC and then kind of be satisfied with that. Because we make about 2 million cars every year. We have a multi-plant facility, and we have 4,000 plus showrooms. So once a solution will be deployed, the scale will be humongous. So startups should be ready for that kind of a scale. When I say startup, I mean their team and the founders and everybody associated with that. So we'll be looking for some energetic founders, the founders who can definitely solve it and also scale it up faster. Because mobility challenge is all about not wasting time, solve it quickly, take the PO and get onboarded. That's it. This is the beauty of mobility challenge.
So, like as you said, technology readiness to meet the need. You're talking about
Absolutely.
the founder's energy, the founder's profile, and ability to scale as soon
Yeah.
as you find that. Great. Anything else, Sujit, you want to add to this factors which will become really important to qualify into the challenge, besides what Rohan has just said?
Yeah, so great points. Just quickly, I think especially for the early stage startups, right? I think understanding customer pain points is going to be very critical, because many times we build solutions probably it's not meeting the needs or requirements of the industry, which is important. Typically use case based, right? If they can start looking at what use cases or what problems they are solving, right, would be very, very helpful. In fact, I've seen some of the startups actually building persona based as well, right? Which personas are these they are trying to address, right?
So
Um,
when you say persona, you're talking of persona of the
Customer personas.
customer
Yeah,
personas. Okay.
customer personas, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
are you solving for the kind of a person, for example, a finance manager or a supply chain manager or a supply chain lead? What probably, I mean, you are basically getting into their skin or
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
getting into their shoes.
True.
If we are able to start thinking, then it would help. Very quickly, I know we are kind of at the clock. Many times customers ask what KPIs, especially at the C level, C-1 level. I'm sure Rohan san, you would know what KPIs am I impacting, right? What business KPIs am I actually positively impacting is important to know. And so much so, what is the return on investment? At the end of the day, I'm sure Rohan san will have to put back what is the returns that the company has gained in some way or the other, right? It's definitely not just charity, right? So these are some of the things, if all of us, I mean, from our side, startups and ecosystems are able to keep in mind, I think
Okay.
the conversation get even better.
Okay. Great. Great. So, in the, what Rohan, would you like to kind of reemphasize in terms of? I think the call for application is on. So, you
Yeah,
have anything on the
absolutely. I mean,
process you might want to just
yeah,
highlight?
there is a link in the chat where you can apply to the mobility challenge, and you can directly reach out to us through this. And of course, it's there on our website as well. It is there on T Hub's website as well. And also, I request all the startup founders who have literally fire in their belly and who want to crack it and of course, everybody has got dreams. We believe that we enable startup founders who have dreams to realize their dreams faster. Of
Mhm.
course, eventually they will someday realize their dreams, but we kind of enable them to do it faster. And I request them to apply. And then from there onwards, after your application is sorted and you are selected, we take care of everything. So just apply because that is a must, because we need that application number to identify you. And once that is done, the team takes care of it. And then startup also gets a lot of support and mentoring from T-Hub, Sujit San, MSR, and they have a army of team to take care of the startup. We also have like business experts at our end who are actually waiting for startups to apply. You've got good number of applications, but the applications are on only till 21st of July.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you have only very few days left. And then once that, we will start screening and then we'll start reaching out to you and share the use case in detail and take things forward from there.
Okay. And as a team, will you expect the entire founding team to be part of this whole program, or is it how does
So
it work?
only the experts can be part, at least if possible, at least for the initial pitch. Once they're pitching for the first time, if founder is present, then that gives a lot of confidence to Maruti folks
Sure.
that okay, founder
Sure.
is there, and the company is the startup is like sound, and then somebody will be able to take care of it. Because Dr. Ganga, I talked about scale.
Yeah.
Scale is of course you have to
That
scale
was
it
my
up on
next
your own,
question.
but
Yeah.
once you see the founder, then you get the confidence that okay,
Sure.
the captain is right there and will steer the ship in a positive way.
Sure. So when you say scale, certainly the early stage founders who are not experienced scale may not really kind of straight away qualify
So
this.
when
So
I say scale, scale does not mean that you need to have so many people in your team. Scale means at least the mindset should be ready to scale up. So when you are developing the solution, you develop it in a way that the solution is scalable or deployable and on a multi-location, large format. That's what I meant by scale. Of
sure,
course,
sure.
we take care of the development cost and whatever cost comes associated with it. Maruti takes care of everything.
Sure, sure. Great. So I think the main points which are required for the panel discussion has briefly got covered. In case I have missed asking any specific question to Sujit or Rohan with regards to fireside chat, request you to please flag it so that the audience
So
gets to
Sujit Chan did
understand.
not mention that they have got a fantastic office in Hyderabad. If startups want to use that, they can.
Thank you for flagging that off, Rohan. Yeah, so yes, we are happy. In fact, we are the world's largest innovation hub purely from a size standpoint, but we support, as Dr. Ganga mentioned, across sectors. But as we see, sectors are converging. So one of the biggest area of focus for us is AI, ML, Gen AI, EV mobility, healthcare. So any of these startups can happily come back to us and we will support.
Great. So I'm just looking at some questions in the audience pertaining to the challenge. I think there are no direct questions as such, but in case there are any questions, I request the audience to either put it in the chat or the Q&A box so that we can answer it.
I
Okay.
see, Dr. Ganga, two, I don't know, pointers, I guess, from Dr. Rajendran Ramaswamy and Milind Dongre.
Yeah.
Are you able to see that?
Yeah. So they are, I can just read it out, Rohan, in case it's relevant. You might want to take it up, or we can, you can ask them to. So it's basically, I think they are a founder of a company called IPTA into design and development of electric powertrain components such as electric motor, inverter, etc. Like to know
So,
about this.
so this question,
Yeah,
this solution which the startup is developing is not very relevant from the mobility challenge point of
exactly.
view.
That. Yeah.
But we do have other innovation programs. Please go and log on to www.marutiinnovation.com. I will just request Nandisha to punch it in the
Yeah,
chat.
that is
And there are
that.
other programs you can apply there.
Yeah. True. And I think the next question is also pertaining to another sector. It doesn't belong to the
Perfect.
mobility challenge. So I
So
request you
Nandisha is
to,
just typing it the URL and then please apply there, and then
yeah.
we'll reach out to you.
Yeah. Any other questions? We've had a very interesting chat so far, but any other questions pertaining to the mobility challenge? Any specific question in terms of, the stage of your startup, the product, POC, etc.? Please flag it. We'll be more than happy to answer. Okay, while that is happening, Rohan, the one question which has come from the question bank, I don't know if you have covered it, but at the cost of repetition, what are the collaboration tools used by Maruti, and what are the three pain points in this mobility space for Maruti?
See, I would say a pain point. We have identified kind of a problem areas or the areas where probably solutions are required probably at a higher priority. So these are like about 23, 24 problem areas like blockchain, data science, electric vehicles, rural mobility, quantum computing. So these are there all there on the website. So these are like broad categories, and there are about 150 to 200 use cases which are kind of mapped to these problem areas. So this is what we have on decided so far. But as Sujit San always says that we are always open to know unknown and unknown. So we are open if there is something which we don't know exists, is exciting, we are more than happy to collaborate.
Sure, sure. Great. So I think, Rohan, you have a time constraint. I'm just flagging it to you. But I
Yes,
have a question either for you or to Sujit, one of
Sujit
you.
San. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, Sujit, it really be interesting to know some real good success, notable success stories which have emerged from the past, particularly out of this challenge. Anything on top of mind, not just about the technology, but the whole journey. We talked of mindset and all of that. If you can quickly put it together, I thought it'll be useful for the founders here.
Probably this best answered by Rohan Sain, but I'll take out a name. There's a startup called Imaginate. Okay, so Imaginate, they focus on creating a metaverse kind of an experience, and various solutions, from sales engagement to even, I think, if I'm not wrong, services related, right? After sales services related support as well. But the interesting thing is not what they are doing. Interesting thing is how Maruti supported them
Yeah,
initially. And I did mention about initial POC pilot, small scale. And if I'm not wrong, Rohan San, they got funded through a 1 CR funding to scale one of their solutions at a national level.
Imaginate
Imaginate. Yeah.
two crores.
2 crores. Sorry, so we double that. So point I'm saying is they started, with Maruti small, and then they scaled to a national level. The solution got, I think it's a dealer related solution, right?
Service technician. It's a virtual diagnostic assistant which we
Right.
have made kind of co-created with the Imaginate team for service technician to kind of guide, help the service technician when they are trying to solve some complex issues when the vehicle has gone for repair and maintenance and service. So it actually works on tablet as well as handheld phones. So that's a very AI assisted and it's a very adaptive tool, and this we have done with a startup and not very big company.
great.
So I think Nmovil is another example of how they have scaled to a 10 CR revenue,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
There are success stories right here. I think this is what I'm sure startups will need to believe in,
Yes.
edge, and put that effort, which they are doing. I'm sure it's only going to grow because the corporates have opened up both their hearts and purses. So
So,
And to
Dr. Ganga, what we bring to the table is go to market. So, we are
that's
not saying that we are there for only investments. And we, of course, have our investment innovation fund as well, but it's more strategic in nature. We only invest in startups who collaborate with us. But other than this, that our USP is market access.
fantastic. I mean, what more can a startup founder ask for? And that's like most important. Rohan, if you have the time, otherwise the question is also to Sujit. So in all this, discussions about innovation, disruptive mobility, etc., how does one balance the ethos of safety and security? I mean, especially as an innovator, because we are very passionate. We want to give the best experience and get the best efficiency, productivity. But since it's automobile and the sector, how does one kind of bring in the this angle while they're developing the technology?
maybe I'll let Rohan San speak, and then I'll add.
If he has the time, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah. What did you say? I sorry missed it.
Yeah. So what I meant is in all this era of innovation, disruptive technology, where the founders are all geared up to solve a deep solution, but Maruti or any other corporates has a responsibility of also regulatory compliances, safety, etc. Right? So any message, thoughts on that while these young innovators are developing the technology.
See, at the end of the day, we always believe that the law of the land or the compliance is paramount. I mean, whether you build a solution or not, you have to follow and abide by it. So whenever there is a gray area or something which is not kind of clarified by the government or the rules or the regulations, we do seek out and try to help the startups there. And we also learn ourselves, like some of the solutions which we have built, their copyrights, how to protect them. We have kind of learned along the way. I mean, we never didn't knew about those kind of things before we started the program. So it's all about collaborative learning as well. And whenever required, we go all out to help the startups. There are times when we have reached out to experts. I mean, the other companies who are experts to get solutions. At times, even legal firms. At times, even regulatory bodies. Uh, I will not be able to name them, but yes, we have
Sure.
reached out to them. And I'm sure T Hub is also associated with many. So it's all about leveraging each other's strength and kind of and end goal is to get the startup inside Maruti Suzuki. That's it.
Great. Sujit, you have anything to add?
Yeah. So, in fact, I keep quoting about the experiences that medtech startups go through. When compliances, they have to go through various regulations. And especially if you want to go to, say, the US market or whatever, FDA regulations become very, very critical. Now, creating or designing and creating a device takes about a year and a half, but complying to those regulations takes another almost double the time.
Absolutely.
So in the process, there's a lot of time lost, etc. So it's always better to be aware and build those products in compliance with the regulations, so that even if it takes a little longer, you're not stuck once the product is ready to go to the market. Coming back saying that you have to redo the entire design process. So it's a very costly thing to not pay attention to these regulations. So I think it's important to bake it into the design
Sure.
as
So,
much as
and I think if they're onboarded, they get that guidance and mentorship from
correct.
Maruti.
Exactly. True.
Yeah, so I think with that, we are good to, we really had a very interesting conversation with both Rohan and Sujit. So Nandisha has put a message again saying we're looking for startups in the video analytics domain. So, and she's also given the link. So I encourage all of you to really, the audience and your friends and acquaintances also to look at this wonderful.
Absolutely. And I will have to drop off. I want to personally
Yes.
thank Sujit San for making it here today. Thank you so much. I know we are in this together, but thanks to Banta hai.
Thank you,
So
Rohan.
thank you so much for driving this. I know you're doing a lot of events, activities from Hyderabad as well. So I will keep updating me. So the idea is to grow the ecosystem, source the high quality startups from the ecosystem, and a big thank you to SINE IIT team, Janvi, Dr. Ganga. Thank you so much for pulling this together. And I'm sure today few people could see it, and once we put it on the web, more people will be able to get access to what we discuss. So it's not about that the entire message has to be consumed by everybody, but whatever seems relevant, we just want to touch maximum number of startups to know about, so that they know, okay, there is somebody there looking out for them, and they should apply and come join us.
Thank
Yes,
you.
so big thanks.
Thank you, Rohan San.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Dr. Ganga. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And with this, I think we call it a wrap. The details are here. You can please visit the website, the link. And I think the Maruti team is more than happy, along with TF, more than happy to answer your questions. Yeah. So with that, we call it a close. Thank you, Sujit, for taking
Thank
time
you.
out.
Thank you.
And thank you, Janvi, and the entire team.